Hi, it's Mama D, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're discussing a topic that is number 2 on the concern lists that middle-aged people have, and that's depression. And depression affects men and women. I'm highlighting more of the women issue because I think we have so many different things going on in our bodies. We've got menopause going on, and just the hormonal changes in menopause alone are significant. And I don't think men go through menopause, so I'm kind of focusing on women today. So depression remains unrecognized and untreated in older people, which highlights the need for continued screening. And I know every time I go to the doctor, there's a questionnaire I have to fill out on my, mental health. Doctors need to be more aware of the effectiveness of treatments for depression. And depression is also associated with worse outcomes following a heart attack, diabetes, congestive heart failure, and with rehab patients. And I know when I had my heart problems and I had to get my pacemaker, I was seriously depressed and in a funk because, number one, I was scared. I mean, you don't just put a pacemaker in somebody's heart and, everything's going to be okay. I worried all the time. I used to go to the gym and work out. And for a while there, I know a year, I didn't go to the gym much and I didn't ride my bike because I was afraid if I made my heart go too fast, what was going to happen. Even though the cardiologist told me it was okay, it still scared the heck out of me. So mentally, as a nurse, I knew better. But, you can't tell that little inner voice in there that things are going to be okay when you're just not sure. And depression is associated with a higher mortality rate because, really, seriously, you can be so depressed that your, body just shuts down. And that's, I'm sure a lot of people are going through that. If you have a positive outlook through any kind of situation in life, you're going to have a better outcome. And they have really found out that, I don't know if you know what ECT treatments are, but they're electroconvulsive therapy. And they put you to sleep, and they give you basically a shock on each side. They have these things, just kind of like you shock your heart, but it's on your head. And it makes you have a seizure, but you're asleep through the whole thing. But that resets your brain and has had great outcomes for people with serious depression. And they say the decade or two before a woman's quote-unquote golden years is the toughest. Many women at that time of life, traditionally the years between 45 and 64, juggle not only work and running the home, but also caring for children, possibly grandchildren, and their aging parents, or both, like we did. We had my daughter and her 2 sons living with us and my mother. So it was a great experience for my grandsons because they got to bond with Grandma and hear all her stories, and they'll never forget that. They love my mom to death. But you put all that together with menopause and the hormonal changes, that's a tsunami of epic proportion. For many women, it's the frazzled feeling of burnout, sucks the joy out of your life, makes you feel physically tired, and diminishes your interest and pleasure in life. Over time, the emotional toll of this burnout can lead to physical, problems. Not only heart problems, metabolic syndrome, if you're not sure what that is. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome, so it's a hormonal issue. Obesity, diabetes, heart disease, they're all in this trifecta that I have. Yeah. And, it can lower your immune system, so you're more susceptible to diseases, and also sleep problems. So I have that, I can have trouble falling asleep, and then if I wake up, I have trouble going back to sleep. And middle-aged women today are more stressed than ever. The number of women seeking medication from physicians for depression and anxiety is on the rise, and suicide rates for people our age are on the rise. And some of those reasons, like we said, working longer hours, carrying more debt, raising teenagers or grandchildren, experiencing divorce or serious marital problems, trying to battle some kind of serious illness, you know, throw cancer in there for example. My God, how can anybody deal with that? Caring for your aging or elderly parents and experiencing all those hormonal fluctuations all at the same time. I mean, I can't imagine. So, aside trying to banish the burnout, things that you can do to help decrease the stress, especially if you feel like your world is out of control, is to try and get more organized by setting small goals. Don't set goals that are humongous and that you'll never probably reach, even if it has to be hourly goals or daily goals. I just did last week, I set up my Google Calendar and I put every day I work on there, I put, you know, wake up 5:30 to 6, work 6 to 2:30. I mean, I'm putting everything on there so that I can have every part of my life on this calendar and be organized. And breaking up tasks, yeah, that's what I was trying, into smaller steps, because the bigger things are and the more you're having to accomplish can be overwhelming. So if you break it down into small steps, you'll be more successful. And then being able to delegate some of the responsibility to someone else is huge. My husband is so supportive of everything I've been trying to do. You know, we are Advocare distributors. I'm a 31 distributor, 31 consultant. And so now I'm doing my YouTube videos and have a YouTube channel. So he has been more than accommodating, you know, anything that I need or, you know, think that I need to get this going. He has been more than, I mean, as you saw him on the one video, he volunteered for me to be the first person I interviewed on my channel. And I really appreciate that too. And then exercise. We've already talked about how exercise, it releases endorphins and can make you feel better and make you physically better. And you know, joining a yoga class or joining a spin class or, you know, a water aerobics class where you get to meet some new friends and get to socialize a little bit too, can really help reduce your stress. And then you have to give up the idea of being able to do it all. Nobody can do it all, and you can't either. So don't think that you have to do it all, because that puts a lot more stress on you than you even need to know. And to realize life is short. If you have a goal that's important to you, by all means pursue it. But don't think of it as something that, you know, if it's something that is going to take you 10 years to accomplish, don't get frustrated when you don't have it done in 2 weeks. So you have to be realistic about your goals. And get help if you need it. Don't feel, I used to feel for the longest time that it was weak to get help, but it's not. That's the strongest thing you can do, is ask for help. I went to my doctor, I told him I was feeling this way, and I wanted to talk to a counselor. And so once I did, I had about 6 sessions, and I realized that all he was doing was bringing out the things that were going on in my life by me telling him. So I really didn't find it as helpful as I thought I would be, and maybe it was the counselor. Maybe if it was a different counselor, I would have felt different about it. But after about 6 sessions, I was like, you know what? As a Christian, God is my counselor, and I need to be talking to him, and I think I can do this fine with his help. So I didn't go any further, and it didn't make me fall off the wagon or anything. In fact, I'm doing just fine right now. But you shouldn't ignore those feelings, though. You know, if you're feeling sad and you're feeling down and you're feeling stressed and you feel like you just can't figure out how you're going to do it, don't feel like it's weak to go ask for help. It's not. And you need to express your feelings somehow. Journaling, I found, is a good way to do it. You can journal and express yourself as honestly as you want. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to, you know, nobody, first of all, should be looking at your journal. So you should be able to express yourself as honestly as you can. And depending on others, if you have somebody that can help you, like my husband around the house, that's amazing. That's awesome. If you don't, then you're going to have to try and figure out what's the most important thing to do and what can be, you know, can be done later. Don't think you have to do it all at once. sleep is huge. You know, you have to get a good night's sleep. Sleep is where your body rests and rejuvenates, your mind, your everything is rejuvenated when you sleep. So talk to your doctor if you're having trouble sleeping. Maybe you need a little help, until you can get these hormones under control or whatever's causing it. And like we said, exercise is huge. And as I said before, supplements, omega-3 fatty acids are shown to have amazing, success with brain and, keeping yourself young. And as I said before, I use Omega Plus from Avocare. It's the best fish oils, one of the top fish oils out there. And, it even helps your heart, it helps your joints. It's probably, if it was one supplement that I would have to take for the rest of my life, it would be fish oil. Make the food and mood connection. That's what we talked about with eating fish and like the omegas and all that kind of stuff. There is a huge connection between what you eat and how your brain, functions. And try your best to say no to alcohol. It may interact with some of the medications that you take, and it can make depression worse. And if you have a problem with alcohol, then you need to get some help. And there are plenty of resources out there for you to do that. I know our church has an overcomers group where they meet, and it's overcoming everything: food addiction, drug addiction, alcohol addiction. So find a program like that where you can get involved. And like I said, stick to a schedule. Do what I did. Get the Google Calendar if you can, and put everything down there. And it just organizes everything so much. And then boost your self-image. You got to start thinking more positively. Think about all the things that you've done that have been a success. Think about all the positive things that you've done in your life. And there's been some downfalls, I'm sure, but, for the most part, I'm sure there's some successes somewhere that you can look at and be proud of yourself and what you've done in your life. And, the main thing is to ask for help before it gets too bad. You don't ever want to get to the point where you feel like there's no other recourse but for you to die. That's way too past the level. Somewhere along the line, there's been some kind of warning signs that you've seen in yourself, or maybe your mother or your friend, and you didn't say anything. Or for yourself, you just brushed it off and thought, oh, this is just a bad day or a bad week or a bad month. But don't ever get to the point, where you think that it's better off that you're not here, because you were here for a purpose. God put you here for a purpose. And nobody here on this earth is a mistake. And so your life is super important. So if you ever get to that point, you got to call for help. You just have to. There's no way that ending your life is the answer to your problems. There's got to be a better way. So from me to you, love you. And hang in there. And if you want to talk to me about it, I'll be an ear for you anytime. So put a comment down at the bottom. If you need somebody to talk to, we'll connect. And I can show you share with you some of the things that I've done to help overcome those sad, feelings. And we all get them. That's not unusual. So don't think you're, something's wrong with you because you do. But just get help. Don't let it get to the extreme point, okay? That's kind of what I just want to say. Don't let it get to the extreme. Ask for help, because help is out there. It's everywhere. And I'm praying that if you're dealing with depression, that you're going to get some help for it, okay? Because there is a better day coming. Believe me, I can tell you, there's a better day coming, all right? God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.